Hello and welcome to our notes for section 1.3 linear equations and inequalities. Now we're going to break this section up into a few days. So today we're going to just focus on solving linear equations. Now when solving linear equations, it's possible to have one solution, no solutions, or infinite solutions. Now when we have one solution, that's very straightforward. We get x equals some number, and that one number is the one value that x can be in order to make this equation true. However, that's not always the case. Sometimes there's no solutions. When we get no solutions, what we get when we solve is an untrue statement. We get something that isn't quite accurate. For example, one you might see is something like 7 equals 15. All right. 7 doesn't equal 15. What that's saying is that in order for there to be an answer, we'd have to say 7 equals 15. That's not true. It's an untrue statement. There is no value that will make 7 equal 15. Therefore, there's no solution to this equation. What's more, notice that the variable is gone from that final equation. We just have 7 equals 15. All right, if we just have 7 equals 15, there's no variable. There's nothing we can really identify there. Now the third option is that there's infinite solutions. Infinite solutions occur when we have a true statement. Something that, that'll check out to be true. Something like 0 equals 0. Now notice again, the variable's gone. However, this time we have a true statement. What it's saying here is no matter what variable we plug in, no matter what value we plug in for that variable, we'll get 0 equals 0, which is true. So the variable could be anything, therefore infinite solutions are possible. All right, so with that being said, let's dive into some examples. Let's look at letter A here. 2x minus 14 equals x minus 2 times the quantity 7 plus 1/2 x. Well, looking at it, the first thing I'd do is I'd start by distributing this negative 2. So I'd say 2x minus 14 equals x. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Negative 2 times 1/2 would be negative x. Combine my like terms on the right side of the equation. I have 2x minus 14 equals x minus x is just 0, so I'm left with negative 14. If I add 14 to both sides to try to get x isolated on the left side of the equation, I'd say that 2x equals negative 14 plus 14 is 0. Divide by 2, and I'd find that x equals 0. So this is for this equation, we found x equals 0. We found one value. There's one solution. That one solution is 0. In order to make a true statement up top, x has to equal 0. All right, excellent. Let's look at letter B. Excellent. 1/3 times the quantity 6x minus 15 equals 3/4 x minus 2. Distribute that 1/3. Remember, anytime we're multiplying by 1/3, that's just the same as dividing by 3. 6x divided by 3 would be 2x. Negative 15 divided by 3 would be negative 5. And that equals 3/4 x minus 2. Now, there's a couple different things we can do here. I know that a lot of you aren't the biggest fan of fractions. So one thing we can do to just get rid of our fractions is if we multiply everything, both sides of the equation, by 4, by that denominator, all right? By doing that, obviously we need to distribute over here. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. But look what that does with my fraction. 4 times 3/4 x, that would divide out that denominator, so I'd be left with just 3x. And then 4 times negative 2 minus 8. Now I have this linear equation I can solve here, so let's add 20 to both sides. Add 20. When I do that, I'd have 8x equals 3x plus 12. Subtract 3x, subtract 3x. I'm going to take this up top here so I have enough space. 8x minus 3x is 5x equals 12. To get x all by itself, divide by 5, and I find that x equals 12/5. All right, and that would be, again, one solution. In order to get a true statement, x needs to equal 12/5. All right, let's check out letter C here. 3r minus 40 equals 2 plus 8 times the quantity 3 minus r. So first step, distribute that 8. So I'd have 3r minus 40 equals 2 plus 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times negative r would be negative 8r. Combine my like terms. On the right side, 2 plus 24 is 26 minus 8r. All right, so I'm going to add 8r to both sides here. Add 8r. 3r plus 8r is 11r. minus 40 equals 26. Got to get that number on the other side, so I'll add 40 to both sides. I get 11r equals 66. 26 plus 40. Divide by 11 to get r all by itself. When I do that, I find that r equals 6. Again, one solution, r has to equal 6 in order for us to have a true value. All right, let's try one more together. Let's look at letter D here. Negative 14 minus 7r equals negative 7 times the quantity 3 plus r. So I'd start by distributing that negative 7. So I'd have negative 14 minus 7r equals negative 21. Negative 7 times r would also be minus 7r. All right, so notice what's going to happen here. I'm going to add 7r to both sides, add 7r. Negative 7r plus 7r is 0, so this will just become negative 14 plus 0 equals negative 21, and again, negative 7r plus 7r is 0. So notice what I'm left with. I'd be left with negative 14 equals negative 21. My variable is gone. If my variable is gone, there's two options. There's either no solutions or infinite solutions. Now, we're asking, is this a true or false statement? Does negative 14 equal negative 21? No, it doesn't. Negative 14 doesn't equal negative 21, which means we have an untrue statement, which means we have no solutions. There is no value of r that can create a true equation here. So there is no solution here. All right. Why don't you go ahead and try E and F on your own? So I'm going to ask that you pause this video, try E and F, complete the problem, and then we'll go through it together and we'll check our work. All right, so go ahead and pause the video, try E and F on your own, and then we'll check it together. All right, let's check to see how we did. So looking at letter E, hopefully first thing we distributed, 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And that equals x over 2 plus 6. All right, we have this fraction here. You can multiply both sides by 2. When I do that, I'd get 12x minus 30 equals x plus 12. Add 30 here, add 30 here. 12x equals x plus 42. Subtract x, 11x equals 42. Divide by 11, we find that x equals 42 over 11. Don't be afraid of fractions as our answers. We had one earlier. They can occur. Don't worry about it. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong. X equals 42 over 11 in this case. Now let's look at letter F. See how we did there. 1/2 the quantity 8x minus 12 plus 9 equals 2x plus 2 times the quantity 3/2 plus x. All right, so whenever we're multiplying by 1/2, that's the same as dividing by 2. So 8x divided by 2 would be 4x. Negative 12 divided by 2 would be minus 6. Plus 9 equals 2x. Plus 2 times 3/2 would just be 3. And 2 times x would just be 2x. All right, so we have 4x, combine our like terms, negative 6 plus 9 would be positive 3, equals, combine our like terms, 2x, oh, look what we're going to have here. All right, so I can subtract 4x from both sides, and when I do that, I get 0 plus 3 equals 0 plus 3, which means that 3 equals 3. Notice, our variable is gone. The variable has left the equation, just like Elvis has left the building. All right, so 3 equals 3. Again, true or false statement is what we're asking. 3 does equal 3. This is a true statement. If we have a true statement, what does that mean? That there are infinite solutions, right? So, for letter F, we just write infinite solutions. Just like so. And we call it A. What that means, of course, any value for x will work. Any value you plug in for x will give you a true statement for that equation. Awesome. Hopefully we're feeling confident. Let's step it up a little bit. Let's look at letter A here from a level 3 example. So we're still just solving this equation. We're going to try to get n all by itself, figure out what n equals. All right, so first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to distribute this negative into everything. So I have negative 2/3 n minus 1 minus 4/3 equals, now I'm going to distribute this 8/3 into everything here. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 4 is 12 n minus 8 times 3 is 8. Or sorry, 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. 3 times 2 would be 6. All right. So I'm going to combine some like terms, simplify stuff a little bit here. So I have negative 2/3 n. Now I have negative 1 minus 4/3. So that's the same as negative 3 over 3. So I'd end up with negative 7/3 equals 24 over 12 is just 2n. And then minus 8/6 can be reduced to 4/3. So notice, got up some fractions here, right? Well, let's get rid of those fractions. Notice we have a common denominator here in all of them, 3. 2 obviously would be over 1, but if we multiply by 3 on both sides, we can get rid of these fractions. When I do that, all of these denominators would divide out, so I'd have negative 2n minus 7 equals 3 times 2n would be 6n. 3 times negative 4/3 would be minus 4. Awesome. And now we're working with the problem just like we did with the level 1 problems earlier. So I can, let's add 2n to both sides, add 2n to both sides. When I do that, I would have negative 7 equals 8n minus 4. I'm going to bring that over here just a little bit. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, so I'd have negative 3 equals 8n. Divide by 8, and I would find that n equals negative 3/8. So I have one solution, negative 3/8. There we go. All right. Why don't you go ahead and try B on your own, see how you do? And then we'll check that together, okay? Go ahead and try letter B, and then we'll check our work together. Go ahead and pause the video. We'll see you at the end once you've finished letter B. All right, let's see how we did here with letter B. So first thing I notice is we got some fractions that we're going to have to distribute out here. So I have 25 over 4 minus 2k equals 3/2 times 1/3 k. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 3 would be 6k plus 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8. All right, so let's simplify this 3/6k here. We can do that. So we'd have 25 over 4 minus 2k equals 1/2 k plus 15/8. Gross. Well, looking at letter A, we had that common denominator that we multiplied by, and that made everything easier. So let's try to get everything here to have a common denominator, all right? So I have denominators of 4, 2, and 8. 8 would be the denominator that would work best here. So I could rewrite all of these with the denominator of 8. So 50 over 8 minus 16k over 8 equals 4/8 k plus 15/8. And now that they all have that common denominator, multiply by 8, multiply both sides by 8, and all of these denominators will divide out. So I'd be left with 50 minus 16k equals 4k plus 15. All right, I'm going to add 16k to both sides, add 16k, and I'm going to take this up top over here. When I do that, I have 50 equals 4 plus 16 is 20k plus 15. Subtract 15, subtract 15. 35 then would equal 20k. To get k all by itself, divide by 20, divide by 20. That we can definitely simplify, and we find that k equals 7/4. One solution, 7/4. All right, hopefully we're feeling pretty confident about this. If not, I'm still here. Let me know if we have any questions. Hopefully we enjoyed this process. We're going to do this again on Monday and Tuesday of this coming week. This is Mr. Carter signing off, and I'll see you next time.